is Australia versus England, the Ashes cricket test, and in the fifth and final cricket test on day 3 at close of play, Australia, in reply to England first inning score of 384, were 518 for the loss of 7 wickets, leading by 134 runs with 3 wickets in hand, thanks to 2 centurion. The veteran Steven Smith is scoring his 37th century and 13th in Ashes and also 5th at Sydney Cricket Ground. On the other hand, the opener who set the tone, yes, Travis Head, who set the tone for Australia, is scoring his 12th century and 3rd in this Ashes series, is scoring 163, and Steven Smith is still unbeaten on 129 when the stumps were drawn for the day, leading by 134. Remember, Australia are 3-1 ahead in the Ashes series. They have an unassailable 3-1 lead in the Ashes cricket series. Okay, the farewell test match for Usman Khwaja, playing in his usual laziness, a full leg delivery, trying to flick it, misses it, and was plumb right in front and was given out by Pakistani umpire. Yes, and he was out after scoring only 17. And from the gallery, his missus also watches his dismissal, his last appearance in Test cricket. A set of 7 players with Test centuries at 7 venues in Australia, and Travis Head joined the rest. Stephen Waugh, Justin Langer, Matthew Hayden, and David Warner. And now Travis Head, who has scored centuries at Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Canberra, and Perth. 7 different venues where he has scored centuries for Australia in Test cricket, joining the rest. Okay, at close of play, Australia, in the reply to England's first inning score of 384, were 518 for 7, leading by 134 runs. What a brilliant performance from Travis Head. His 12th century, and what a way to celebrate. Yes, at stump, Australia were 7 down for 518, and he's scoring his 12th century, Travis Head, and 3rd in this series as well. Yes, the dismissal of Travis Head, and he was out trying to sweep Jacob Battle, the part-time spinner, and was unlucky. Ball was clipping leg stump, but the impact was in line, wicket hitting and pitching outside the off stump, and he was declared out. He made 163 or 166 balls and was out. But England were 4 down for 288. A beautiful moment of respect in Sydney. The crowd rises for Usman Khwaja in his final Test appearance, and on the big screen you can see "Thank you Usman Khwaja" as Usman Khwaja walks in to bat for his final time in Test cricket for Australia. Travis Head joins an elite group as the 5th player with Test 100 at 7 different venues in Australia. Stephen Waugh is scoring centuries at Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Cairns, and Darwin. And then Justin Langer at Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Cairns, and Perth. And Matthew Hayden, Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Cairns, and Perth. And now David Warner also has scored Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Hobart, Perth, and Perth Optus. 2 different stadiums at Perth Waka and Perth Optus, where David Warner scored centuries. And now the latest, Travis Head is scoring centuries for Australian Test cricket at Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, and 3rd in this series as well. Okay, when Australia need runs, Travis Head shows up. 3 centuries in this 5 Test Ashes pure class, scoring 170 of 219 balls in the 3rd Test, and then 123 of 83 in the first cricket test, which ended in just 2 days at Perth. And now in the 5th and final test, he made 163 of 166 balls at Sydney Cricket Ground. Travis Head versus England. Yes, in this inning, he scored 160 of 166 balls, hitting 24 fours and 1 6. And look at his strike rate. He's playing Test cricket, and almost 100 runs per was his strike rate. A very good going, aggressive approach, and that is what Australia's already known for. Okay, Stephen Smith, second only to Donald Bradman in Ashes century. The Ashes has always been cricket's toughest measuring stick. Across more than a century of battles, countless great batters have tried to dominate it, but only three have consistently risen above every else when it matters most. Here's the elite list defined purely by the Ashes 100, 19 by Sir Donald Bradman, 13 by Stephen Smith, he is now second in the list, and third is Jack Hobbs, who made 12 centuries in the Ashes series. Travis Head is the first player to score Test centuries in 7 different Australian states and territories. Travis Head brings up his 12th Test century with a boundary at SCG. The trademark celebrations follows in front of packed crowd, a flying start to 2026 as he reaches his 100 of just 105 balls. Okay, summary once again. At close of third test play of the 5th and final test at Sydney, Australia, in reply to England's first innings score of 384, were 518 for 7 at close of play, which means Australia are 134 runs ahead and they have 3 wickets in hand, with veteran Stephen Smith still batting on 129. Yes, he's batting on 129 of 25 balls, hitting 15 fours and 1 6, and he's been joined by another all-rounder, Bill Webster, who is unbeaten of 42 of 58 balls, hitting 4 fours. So Australia have so far batted for 124 overs and scoring their runs at 4.17 runs. They lost their first wicket at 57, the second at 162, and the third at 234. They were 166 for 2 overnight, and from there onward they lost their first wicket today at 234, and Michael Nesser, the night watchman, was the first man to go. And then they lost Travis Head, who scored his 12th century in Test cricket. Usman Khawaja, playing his favourite Test match, out after scoring 17. Alex Carey departs early, scoring only 16. Cameron Green made 37, and the 2 not-out batsmen, Bill Webster and the standing captain Stephen Smith, unbeaten on 129. For England, Braden cast 23 overs, 2 maiden, 108 runs and 3 wickets, with economy of 4.69. Very expensive. Matthew Potts, 25 overs, 1 maiden, 141 runs and no wicket. His economy is more than 5, which is 5.64. He was also very expensive. Josh Tongue, 27 overs, 89 runs and 1 wicket, 3.29 was his economy. Ben Stokes, the captain, 26 overs, 6 maiden, 87 runs and 2 wicket. And then Will Jacks, 8 overs, 31 runs, no wicket. And Jacob Battle also bowled 15 overs, 1 maiden, 50 runs and 1 wicket. Again the summary, the live stat. Yes, the partnership, how the inning was developed. First, the England inning, they had a partnership of 169 for the 4th wicket and 94 for the 6th and 52 for the 7th. 3 significant partnerships. But now, moving on to Australia, where the openers put on 57, then the 2nd wicket, 105 between Travis Head and Manuel Solution, 72 between Nesser and Travis Head, 54 between Smith and Travis Head, and then 51 between Khawaja and Smith. So 5 50-plus partnership, even one crosses the 100, and then they have another partnership of 71 and the unbroken partnership of 81. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 partnership of more than 50 runs, which reflects their total on the board as they have crossed 518 for the loss of 7 wickets at close of play. So Matthew Potts out of luck as Stokes' coddling captaincy backfires on England. He tried not to be overbearing, but Stokes' failure to lead with the ball left his raw attack exposed. The theatre of Stephen Smith, the Australian great, cruised to a 37th Test 100, but that was only part of the show. Head got it up top as full-time openers, but seems likely. Batsman reaches 600 runs in stellar Ashes campaign after seizing his chance to set series agenda. Stephen Smith only behind Donald Bradman, another big tom for Travis Head. All the stats from Australia's dominant day 3 at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Travis Head and Stephen Smith's centuries grind England in the SCG's dirt. Head smashes 163 and Smith cruised to 129 not out as Australia built their lead to 134 by stumps with 3 wickets in hand. Brilliant performance so far for Australia, who are already 3-1 up in the 5-match series, and most probably they're going to win this test match as well. Otherwise it would be ended in a draw, but the Ashes will be with Australia. Yes, they will retain the Ashes. And on this note, we come to the end of our show. Till the next program, it's goodbye from Sports 3.